So we're doing a research paper. We're going to learn about the MLA style and how Microsoft Word helps us use them and properly format MLA style. Basic formatting of paragraphs beyond just formatting of the font. Numbering our pages in the header and footer. We're going to be using citations because research papers, any good research paper has citations and works cited. And good footnotes. If you've ever read any of Dr. McLeod's documents, he has footnotes everywhere. Not sure if he actually knows how to use references because they came along way long after he was using Word to write his papers. Hopefully he has learned to use that and take advantage because it can save you a lot of time if you learn how to use Microsoft Word's tools that are provided for you. Silence your phones, please. So, in the textbook, I'm going to go back to the beginning of the Module 2. This is Word Project 2, creating a research paper. You're welcome to bring your textbook to class. I try to go in the same order as it's presented in the textbook. We're going over these things. I've kind of mentioned them already in my notes. Word is going to do this for us. And sometimes this is a big hassle if you're writing a paper, keeping track and making a good works cited. If you do this right, Word can do this for you, make it very easy. We can edit our citations, and we're doing various other things, just showing some features of Microsoft Word. So our research paper is going to look something like this. We're going to have a first page MLA style header, or MLA style text, a header with the author's last name and page numbering, centered paragraph line, and then first line indented content with various citations with parenthetical citations, footnote in there. I think there's only one footnote. And then also second page, notice there is a citation in the footnote itself, a slightly different style. And at the very end, works cited generated by Word. We didn't have to type any of this. We create sources and say, hey, Word, now that I've created citations and sources, Word stores them and it generates our works cited for us in MLA style. So we're doing a paper that's giving us the content having to do with technology and health. Okay, so let's get going. We're going to start a blank document and we're going to start setting its properties, margins, and styles. Let's get going here. Word, I do have pinned to my taskbar, and I have it on my desktop. If I didn't have it on my desktop, I could click my Windows key and search for Word, and I see it highlighted. I could click Enter, or just double click and Word now starts. And I'm going to start a blank document. It remembers some of my previous documents. Now I am in Word, ready to go, but before I start typing, we're going to set our margins and our view. Make sure my margins, I think I'm going with the default margins. Yeah, it looks like we're leaving the margins the same. I can turn on show my formatting marks. The book has you showing them most of the time. They get kind of noisy to my eyes, so I often will turn them off. You can always turn them on. And first thing before we even start typing, we notice that our default style up here in the styles menu, where we can open up and see that there's lots of styles available to me that I can assign to my font or paragraph that I'm in or selected. The normal style is the default style for my documents. They show here in the textbook that before we even start typing, we're going to change what normal means, what the style of normal is. And to do that, I right-click, modify the normal style. So right-click, modify, up on the styles section on the ribbon, modify. And I want my style for this document. My instructor has told me or my student handbook says MLA means Times New Roman. So we're going to go down to the T's and find Times New Roman. Select Times New Roman as the style. Now this may be your instructor telling you, I want your papers in Times New Roman, 12-point font, and that will become my style. And I can say, okay, since you want that, I'm going to make that what normal is for this document. If all you're going to be writing is research papers from now on in MLA style, you could say, make all my documents based on, have this be normal in all my new documents. It will remember that for your login. I'm recommending, don't have it remember that because we want to learn how to adjust that. We're changing that style only in this document. Now it doesn't show what our spacing is. We'll come back to that and show you how that's done. And so for now, all we've done is change it to Times New Roman's 12-point. And I click OK. And now I can adjust my line spacing. I realize, oh, I do want it double spaced. So let's change our paragraph spacing to double spaced. That's justification. That's not it. This is double spacing right here. Change my spacing to double spaced. Notice I'm doing this before I've typed anything. I'm saying, okay, I want my paragraph to be double spaced. Remember, anything in here applies to the paragraph that I'm happening to be in, and it will remember my paragraph settings for any new paragraphs after this. So I've changed my spacing to 2.2, and I've also come back to here in the paragraph spacing and remove the space after paragraphs. It by default wants to put a space after my paragraph. I'm going to remove that. And next, when I come back, I see, oh, now I can only add. Now that I'm happy with the paragraph style that I also want to have, I would like to make normal to be that. I could have changed it back in normal, but rather than go back here and say, oh yeah, I have to remember how to change my spacing and the paragraph or space after, I can say, okay, I've made it to be what I want. I can right click, or sorry, I can right click here on the style and say, update it to match where I happen to be in right now. Update to match selection. What this means is I've changed a paragraph that's normal style, and I want now normal to be that from now on. So right click, update normal to match selection. Now let's just see if it really did that. I'm going to right click, modify, and just see. Oh, look at that. I do see normal now has double spaced. And if I go to format paragraph in there, I'll see that it has a no spacing before and after. So I can tell that normal definitely has been updated when I did the update normal to match selection. So now I can start typing my content. Oh, wait a minute, I'm not ready to type content. I want to put in a header that has the author's name and page number. Now my preferred way to do it is just double click up there in the top margin. It automatically puts me in the header. I like that way. But they show you in the textbook, if you don't remember double click in the header, you can do insert header and choose a blank header. And the only difference is it puts a placeholder there. It says type here, which seems obvious, but may be needed. And now I can just click and type here and fill in what I want to put here. Now I do want this to be right aligned, so I'm going to type the author. Yazzie is our author. Yazzie. And before I put in my page number, I'm going to remember I need to have this right aligned. Now I want to go to the Home tab to right align it and click Align Right. And there it's reminding me, oh, Control R I could have used to right align my paragraph. So now my paragraph is right aligned. You can actually make your heading be different for even and odd pages. That's a more advanced skill. But we're assuming all our pages are going to have the header on the right side, author, and Don't remember if there's a comma or a page or just a comma or a space. Let's see. Yazzie. Space, yeah, it's just a space, no comma, like I have. And now we want to enter an automatic page number. Well, you could guess that's probably over here on the Insert tab. On the Insert tab, way over here on the towards the right, Page Number. I click Page Number, and oh man, I have all sorts of options. Top of page, bottom of page, page margin, current position, format. Let's just add it to our current position, plain number. Now it has added an automatic page numbering for me, and if I click on that, it shows in gray that, hey, that's something that's special. It's not just like typed in the number one, it's doing that for me. So now we have our author, our fictitious author, their name and page number is going to be on every page, and it will update with the second and third page. Now I want to get back to the main document. Well, remember how I can do it. I can go back to the header and footer tab and close, or I can just double click back in my normal text. I think that's a more natural thing to do. Double click to edit anything in the header or footer. The footer is down here. I could type something. I could double click and type something in the footer, or double click back in the normal text area, and I'm back to my insertion point, ready to enter some information. And the information is going to start with the MLA style header for this student, who is Nina Yazzie. MLA style, remember I have set normal to have double space. Let's find out if it double spaces. Yes indeed, double spaced, Mr. Slobovnik. English 101, and the date of our document, October 6, 2021.
Actually, for MLA, it's 6 October.
Ah, MLA styles, there's variations on it.
For the 9th edition.
Yeah.
It's the newest one.
So if you want to follow, oh, he's actually got the MLA document. Wow. Yeah, if you would like to go by that, I'm fine with that. Because this is something the textbook is telling us, probably based on an older version, and that's where the controversy comes in. MLA has variations. So whatever MLA you're reading, the more important thing is, what does your instructor that wants your paper, what do they agree on, whatever MLA style they agree on? I have had some students tell me that their instructor says MLA, but what they are actually asking and formatting of things looks a lot more like Chicago or Turabian. It's up to the instructor. That's the final decision. Even if they say it's MLA and do it this way, if your manual says, wait a minute, that's not really MLA, go by what the instructor thinks it should be. Same thing with Microsoft. We're going to learn that Microsoft, here under References, has a Microsoft version of MLA that it will try to use for citations and things, but it's up to you to check that is what Microsoft says is MLA, is it the format that your instructor wants? And we'll show you how we're going to use this References, and we can just say, oh, let's try Turabian, and you can switch things and it'll automatically format according to what Microsoft thinks is Chicago or Turabian or MLA. Now, somewhere, let's see, in their MLA, I don't think do they show the edition? Oh, they do show MLA 7th edition here in Microsoft. Maybe newer editions of Office may have this be a newer edition. So Microsoft does mention that's what they call their MLA. There may be a way, I could probably ask AI, can I update my Word to use a newer version of MLA? But that's something we're going to be learning in this document practice, how to use the References tab as we start using citations and bibliographies. So, according to the actual textbook, they would like in this format, if you want to follow MLA 9, you are welcome. I'm not going to be fussy about that. As long as you know how this is all done and learn some of the basics here. Okay, now I hit enter. And I'm planning to have my title come next, and I want this to be a centered line. Well, I could go back to the Home tab and remember that centered line. I could click here. Hovering that shows me Control E will center my line. Or I know that if I hover and I see that centered icon show up, and I double click, that will mean center this line. And now I'm going to center that line, type in the title, and of course I could always center it after I type the content. The content's going to be health concerns of using technology. Health concerns of using technology. Hitting enter, it remembers that, oh, this paragraph was centered. I will keep centering my paragraphs until you change it. And of course, I'm going to change it now using either the Control L shortcut key or just click on the icon for aligning left for this sentence. And now we have something here. We would like, either MLA tells us this or my instructor has told me this, we would like the first line indent to be 1/2 inch. Well, we could do this multiple ways. I could go to my formatting and modify the style for first line indent, but let's show how we can change our first line indent using the ruler. This is the first way I learned it when I was learning Microsoft Word. And if you're not seeing your ruler, you can turn it on by clicking View and make sure the ruler is checked right there. And while we're there now, while we're in this line, I can drag that little top caret. If I hover over it, it'll tell me that's the first line indent. I can click and drag that in 1/2 inch. And now my first line for every paragraph after this will have a first line indent. Now remember, I could do right click, make normal this, but I'm choosing not to do that. I'm choosing to have this paragraph have first line indent of 1/2 inch as shown on my ruler. Now just for your own entertainment, I suppose, I could come over here and adjust my paragraph's format by clicking here, and I could change my first line indent to be 1/2 inch. That tiny little arrow there in the corner of the paragraph ribbon pops me up to all the options having to do with paragraphs. That's a quick way to get to the extra options. By changing that little caret, as the same thing as in the dialog, setting first line to be 1/2 inch. Now I'm ready to type content into this first paragraph. The content is going to be a widespread use of technology has led to some important user concerns. Two of the more common health concerns are repetitive strain injuries, and hearing loss. Period. And I'll come back and fix a few of my typos. You'd think FO would get auto-corrected to OF. I'm going to right-click, fix the red squiggly. Let's see if it knows the correction for that. No, it doesn't know the correction. I have to put repetitive. It may have been doing some auto corrections for me. I won't know unless I hover over and I will see auto corrections. And we're going to visit that in a little bit here. Oh, look at that. It actually did auto correct physical, and I can see what correction it was. I see I had misspelled it. It auto corrected that misspelling. And I didn't know that unless I hover over that. Yes? Your second line to not be also indented? Check your ruler up there and grab that second caret. Make sure you didn't accidentally bring in that second caret and drag it in. That will indent your second line. We only want that top caret indented. Yeah.
Does
By default, yes. Yeah, if you put a tab in there, it will indent, but it's not the same as changing your first line indent. Your next paragraph won't automatically do it for you, where a tab will bring it in.
Oh, so if I started a new paragraph by pressing enter right now, it would automatically.
Yeah, if I do the next paragraph, because I've set the first line indent, the next paragraph also has that first line indent, and I don't have to hit the tab anymore. And the cool thing about this is I can select multiple paragraphs and bring the first line indent in if I wanted to for all of them and adjust their first line indent. And just while we're here on the ruler, that gray area, you can actually change your margin by dragging the gray and adjusting your margin. And you can accidentally do that sometimes. And the bottom one is your last line indent, or whatever that, I can't read that. There's a first line, the hanging indent, and then the total indent of your paragraph. So you can mess with those. Remember, whatever you do to that paragraph you're in, it will remember for the following paragraphs. But you can always, in a second paragraph, change it and not affect previous paragraphs. Oh, and I realize I have a problem here. Not a misspelling, but it doesn't fit there, and I meant to use the word use. Okay, what's it complaining about now? That's weird. I've never seen a blue and red at the same time. That looks like a little bug to me. Huh. Oh, now we are ready to continue the next paragraph. Not the next paragraph, the next sentence. Still in the same paragraph. These conditions are on, and we're going to purposely misspell the word the, just for fun here. T-E-H and space. Watch what happens. Look at that. It gets corrected back to the word the correct spelling. We are going to learn that we can actually mess with the autocorrect options by going to a dictionary. I can say, wait a minute, I wanted to misspell it, or stop autocorrecting it for me. I want to have it have it not correct that. I want me to get used to typing it correctly. But now we'll continue. We'll come back to the autocorrect. We're going to mess with the dictionary in a little bit here. So the rise, on the rise for users of technology. Now, they spend a little time in the textbook at this point explaining that autocorrect a little bit more. Remember, we saw that it had corrected it. I could tell it, wait a minute, don't correct it. Now let's take a look at what we can do over there in that autocorrect. Let's click on Control Autocorrect Options and see what we can do. I can have it replace my common mistypings with things in the dictionary. Look at all the things it already has in the dictionary of common misspellings. And if I go down to the T's, I will see all the ways that it will correct. It's hard to find it, it's a huge list. All the ways it will correct the word the. It looks like it sorts it by the misspelling and not by the final word. So TEH, we will see that there's the autocorrect entry for TEH will get corrected to the. Lots of other corrections already built in. Let's enter one ourselves. Over in the C's underneath computers, let's put in common misspellings for computers. Let's do COMMPUTER. I accidentally double the M, and I want to correct that to the word computer. I can add that entry, and now whenever I type COMMPUTER, it will autocorrect it to computer because it's in its autocorrect dictionary. Now there may be some things in here that you don't want to autocorrecting, like you accidentally have a word that you did, like an acronym that is a common misspelling of something else, and you don't want it. You can delete autocorrections. You can edit your autocorrections and delete misspellings.
So is there a way to get to this dictionary thing without having to go to like the misspelling?
Yeah, there is. Back in the options, if you want to get to this without having to go to a misspelled word, You can go back here in the options under more, I believe. More options. Down here you can go into your, is it your proofing? And you can mess with your auto-correcting and think settings here. Setting, yeah. Yeah, there's custom dictionaries. Let's see if that's in there. Oh, you can use a custom dictionary. And somewhere, oh, here you go. Autocorrect options way here at the top. This takes you to that same place. So yeah, if you want to mess with your corrections, lots of other options here that they don't go over in the book, but this is good to know. You can decide what proofing is doing, and do you want it to flag things? Do you want it to ignore misspellings? You can decide if you want it to show misspellings, or if you want to show grammar style, writing style, grammar and refinements. You can mess with all those settings. That's up to you to explore. You are welcome to explore those things. Lots of cool things back in there. Remember how I got there was File, More, Options, Proofing. That takes me to all those settings. And there's tons of other settings back here that you're welcome to explore, but you can break things too, so be careful. All right, so back to our technology, end of that technology line. We've learned a little bit about autocorrect. Now let's continue our paragraph. It's not a very long paper, just doing a little bit of typing practice. A repetitive strain injury. Oh, sorry, new paragraph. Sorry, we're at the end of that. It's a new paragraph now. Enter. Notice it remembers that first line in it. A repetitive strain injury. RSI is an injury or disorder of the muscles, nerves, tendons, ligaments, and joints. Oh, plenty of. Oh, that's not too bad. Missed the space. This one here, let's see if it can. Oh, that right click guesses the right spelling. This one guesses the right spelling. And there's some probably autocorrects in there. I can hover over to see if it actually did some autocorrects just for fun. And there's going to be actually a footnote before I go to that period. Right after the S of the letter of the word fingers, we're going to be inserting a footnote. Not going to take you there yet. I'll give you time to type this in. I did notice today that if you have a number in your word, it does not recognize that as a typo. If I did have a misspelling with another letter, it will recognize the typo. I hadn't noticed that before. That throwing a number in, it's like it disables error check. Even though I know it's fat fingered the 3, it doesn't complain. Doesn't give me red squigglies. Maybe there's an option to have it recognize that strange behavior. Now, so right before the period, we're going to be adding a footnote. I think a footnote. Make sure. Oh no, we're going to be adding a citation. Sorry, we'll be doing a footnote a little later. Just before the period, we're going to be inserting a citation. I think are we doing a space? We'll find out. think it's a space and then a citation. Ready to go with that? Sounds like typing a stop. We'll find out later if we need a spacer. I'm going to do references now. And this is where we're spending a little more time in this particular paper. We want to know what we can do on the references tab. A lot of handy things in here. Table of contents for documents with many pages. I would say any document more than 10 pages, I'd strongly suggest you'd likely need a table of contents, unless it's just one long section. Footnotes, very handy to show you've done references. And of course, check with your instructor whether they want footnotes or citations that would go into bibliography. Parenthetical citations, very common in college level papers. Footnotes, I'd say maybe less common, but check with your instructor when to use footnote versus citation. Okay, and we want, first of all, before we worry about the citation, we want to know MLA is the style that we're planning to use. Make sure we're choosing MLA style in our references. And now I want to insert a citation. Right where my insertion point is, I click Insert Citation, Add New Source. I have the book with me. I know what's going to go in it. And the author, click New Source. And the type of source that I want to insert is an article and a periodical. It remembers the last choice you had. You may have book listed there. Change that to article and periodical. And these are the suggested pieces of information you should have, recommended by MLA, that should go in to an article or periodical. And the information we have is author, last name Zhao, Z-H-A-O, comma, Shen Li. Title of the article is Technology, Aches and Pains. I can tab down to the next one. Periodical is Monthly Medical and Review. The year is 2021. Month of July. We're skipping the day, putting n.pag for pages, and the medium is web. Now, if ever I have a web medium, I would very much like to put in the URL where what the link was, because I think that's very useful. So I can choose Show All Bibliography Fields, and that will show me the extra fields available in case I do have that information, one of them being the URL. In this case, we don't have the URL, but they would like to add extra information about when I actually viewed that page, because it's sometimes very pertinent. Web pages do change over time, so when you access it, if you're using particular information that's very important to your paper, I would definitely reference that, and I can tab down to the next one. And even if it's super important to my paper, I would actually go to that web page and do a Control S, and I can actually save what I was seeing on that web page at that point, in case it's very vital information. Since I don't have the URL, I'm not putting it there, but they do show you, hey, if you had the URL, that's what it should look like. So showing extra fields, it still shows a red star next to the ones that it recommends you having. Notice we did not have all of them. That doesn't mean it's going to give you an error. It just says, hey, we think this is important for MLA. If you don't have it, well, it's up to you. Click OK, and what do I get? I get the parenthetical citation shown as MLA 7th edition. Microsoft's version will show.
Can you go back to the
Edit source?
yeah.
Okay, I can always go back to that. As I click on that citation, that little arrow down, and I can go back and edit that source and see the information I had in there. Do you want to see the extra ones, or are these good enough? And the other ones, I'll just bring them all up. The extra ones were, and sadly I can't expand this page. It's not as friendly. Oh, and it also does not do spell check. You do not get spelling checks inside of here. You can spell medical wrong and it will not give you red squigglies. Maybe, we'll see if it shows up in the final works cited. That would be interesting.
Is there a way to edit the citation once we've pressed OK?
Yes, yeah. Once you press OK, you want to come back to it. There's a couple ways to do it. You can come down, hover over it, and get this little arrow showing and edit source. Or you can come up here into manage sources, and you have other sources you've used in previous documents, or you can click on that and edit that current list. Most common way, or as shown in the book, you come down here and you can edit the source down here. Edit source. You can even edit what shows up in the citation, and we'll be doing that later on. You can choose what is shown there. But just for fun here, watch what happens if I change my style. It will change what it thinks should be shown in my citation based on the style that I've chosen up here. So according to Microsoft's Chicago style, it shows the year, where MLA shows only the author, according to what Microsoft has for MLA. Okay, so we have the author shown. Now we're going to, let's see, somewhere else in my paragraph, where did our footnote go? I thought we did a footnote here. Oh, we're going to enter our last paragraph. We may not get to the footnote part. We are now we're not doing a new paragraph. We're continuing this paragraph. Factors that can cause these disorders include prolonged typing or mouse usage and continual shifting between a mouse and keyboard. Taking continual breaks and can help reduce chances of developing these repetitive strain injuries. And now we do type the period, and we're going to insert a footnote at the end of this paragraph. By, again, on the references ribbon that I have left open, here is the insert footnote. It will keep track of the numbering of my footnotes. It will put the footnote wherever my insertion point happens to be. Let's watch what happens. I click insert footnote. It will take me to the bottom of the page, automatically put the number in for me, and I can enter this text, and this will be where we'll end, entering the text for my footnote according to Clark and Nadir, tendonitis of the wrist and carpal tunnel syndrome can lead to permanent, scary, physical damage if left untreated. Now we are going to be adding a reference here to Clark, but we'll do that next time. And we will also set our footnote style to be double spaced and 12 point like we want all our document to be. But we will do that next time. We'll save what we have so far because we have not saved our document yet. Let's do a Control S, and since it's the first time I'm saving it, it will ask me where to put it. I'm going to put it in my section 2 folder that I remember from before and choose the name. I'm going to put my name, Manning, WD2, and rather than just the author's name, I'm going to put in technology and health. The main thing is put your name in there, WD2, to remind yourself this is Project 2. Choose a location that you can find again so you know where to go get it to upload it. If you'd like to save it to your flash drive, you can use your OneDrive, but remember your OneDrive sometimes messes up. I've seen it mess up too many times, so I avoid it. Saving it at a special location on my computer, document cs101 would be a good place. We're ready now, next time, to complete this footnote, modified style, and continue And we're about done with this paper, so there's not a ton more work to do. Just giving you practice, and especially getting you to think of, you may be able to save yourself a lot of time if you're writing papers, have to cite sources. This may save you a lot of time, and of course, in the future, you know how this references works for good, high quality papers, professional papers with references. All right, we'll end there. Have a great day. We'll likely be finishing up this Friday. Yes? To the footnote. There we go. Hannah Hitchfield wants Office 365.
What?
Yep.
How come we use Word when I know like Google Docs and stuff does like the same thing?
Just because many companies expect you to know Word, although many are using Google Docs.
Yeah.
So many do use Office that that's expected. And since it's they're very similar. Word does have a few extra features that it's good to know about. That's more just giving you good knowledge. Having good knowledge of both of them
Yeah.
is
I
even
mean,
better.
I didn't know Word existed,
Yeah.
so I appreciate you running it.
And with Google Docs, you can download as Word, so you can edit in Word, upload it, and Google Docs preserves most of it. I'm not sure they preserve all the citations and things,
Yeah.
but it's good to know both.
Thank you.
So as a reminder, I'm gonna be gone on Friday and Monday.
Okay.
So will you